Greetings everyone. So, what is devotion? Is devotion important? Absolutely. Devotion is very much needed in spirituality because devotion is what connects the human aspect to the godliness. The godliness within this human is what connects to the divinity. Now, the devotion could be through anything. It could be through your favorite deity, Ishta. It could be through your guru. It could be through a holy place, an object, anything. So, the object is what connects initially a human being to devotion. An object is needed. You can see, even in everybody's life, when they get awakened and they are moving towards spirituality, usually there is an object that will bring the devotion. In many people's cases, it is the guru. In some people, it is the Ishta, like Lord Krishna or Jesus or Guru Nanak or Ram or the Prophet. In some other people's life, it might be an ascended master, a mystic, an Avadhoota, a saint. In some people's life, it might be a river, a holy mountain, a place like Kailash or Kedarnath or Banaras, Varanasi or Arunachala. But usually, it begins with an object. This is very important for us to develop and connect with that Supreme Tatva, because we cannot see the Nirguna Nirakara. So, the Saguna form, which has been manifested in the Saguna form, the Supreme, which manifests in so many forms, you can fall in love with it. You fall in love always with the divine attributes of that object. And as you deepen your love with that object, slowly a time comes where the object starts dissolving and the devotion starts deepening. When the devotion deepens and the object dissolves, it is leading you to Parabhakti, where you are losing the identity with the gross and you are becoming more and more subtle. The more subtler you become, the more subtle you can catch of that gross. So a day comes eventually when it becomes so subtle that you can only see the subtlety of that gross object. It might be even a hill or an Ishta, photograph, anything. But the object is important for you to intensify, for you to first connect and then intensify. But a time comes when the object dissolves completely, and the day it dissolves completely, you are in love but without the object. That is called objectless meditation, objectless devotion. Objectless meditation comes out of objectless devotion. This is what all the paths, which I am so deeply studying now in Arunachala, all these are talking about this kind of a devotion. I'll tell you one example that I had with a Westerner. Two of them, not one. Senior Westerners who are practitioners of the self-inquiry in Ramana Ashram. So both had come to the satsang which we had conducted there in one of my retreats. And both of them had a very similar kind of an experience. They did not share it together. They shared it differently. But I could see that it's leading to what I'm trying to convey here. One of them said that he came here in India in the early 1970s and he has been connected with Arunachala and Ramana. So Bhagwan Ramana was his guru after Ramana left his body. So he was pulled, attracted. Now see, the object here is Bhagwan Ramana. The object that came through him, to him, through some book or some way, I don't know. He fell in love with it. And then he fell in love with the hill, Arunachala. And then he was drawn towards Tiruvannamalai. He left everything. He's from Canada. He left and he came and he settled here. So he and his wife are both here. So when he was sitting in one of our retreats and he was going through this Upadesha Saram, he was quiet for some time. But after the whole session completed, the whole 3 days, the last day he said, I want to talk to you something. And he said, I have a dilemma. I'm in a dilemma. I just want to ask you about it. Can you help me? I said, yeah, go ahead. And then he told me, I came in here in the early 70s and I have been very much deeply in love with the hill and Bhagwan Ramana. And this person has also been to Bhagwan Nisardat Maharaj. So he used to sit in his vicinity twice. And Bhagwan Nisardat Maharaj is supposed to have given him, he told me, the whole talk about what he was seeking. And then after 2 visits, he said, don't come here now anymore. Because whatever I had to tell you, I have told already. Now go back to that place, Tiruvannamalai. That's it. And that practice it there. So he was sharing this with me. And he said, since 1970, I was madly in love with the Samadhi of Bhagwan Ramana. First day I came here, I did a Shashtang Namaskara. And I was dancing. And the tears were there, joy and bliss and all those things are there. But after a few years, that dropped. And then those days I remember he told, I used to sit there and meditate for even like something like 8 hours near the Samadhi of Bhagwan Ramana, straight in Padmasana, next to the wall. He even told me the location where he used to sit near the Samadhi. And all these things happened magnificently and he was in bliss until even now. He was so connected and he's doing all those practices. But then he said, some couple of years ago, I think 1 or 2 years back, he said one day he was walking into Ramanashram and then suddenly he looks and his mind says, this is a stone building. And he was shocked. One side of his mind was shocked. One side of my mind said, this is a stone building. And he said, what? It's an ashram. Now my mind is saying stone building. Further, as he walked inside, he was looking at the hill and his mind said, that's just another hill. And then he was walking again further. He went into the Samadhi. And when he went into the Samadhi, near the Samadhi, he heard his mind say, this is another piece of stone. These are just stones. It's another stone. And he was shocked. And he came out. And he said, since then, all this time, he's been in guilt. Because his mind said this thing and the other part of him, his being, could not accept it. He said, what? I have dedicated my whole life to this. Bhagwan Ramana has been my everything. And the hill has been my everything. It brought me here. I left everything and I came here. And today what is my mind telling me? Just another stone. And while he was looking at me for the answer was almost bubbling within me because we had just done those tattvas. And I was reading a couple of documents just before the retreat and it had absolutely to do with what I'm saying. And I told him, day one, this is a sign of great evolution. You don't know how many actually strive for this kind of a situation. He said, what? It's very confusing and I am disconnected. And I said, you're not disconnected. Your mind, ego, the logic, the analytical mind, the reasoning is trying to now reason these things and conclude that you have lost your devotion. I said, no. What you are right now entering into is nothing but objectless devotion. I asked him, what do you do? Before saying this, I had asked him, what do you do actually? Okay, if these things are not happening, the devotion is not happening, what do you do then? How are you doing? He said, your sadhana is not happening. Previously you were sitting for so many hours. Now nothing is happening, he said. Nothing is happening. I can't do anything. And I'm scared. I'm worried. I'm tensed. Why is this happening? I said, that's very obvious to feel that way. Then I told him, this is something that is objectless devotion. Then I actually took the book or that scripture which was there, and I opened it and I showed it to him. And I made him read it. And one of that text was from Devi Kalotra itself, which was just talking about Nirlamba Yoga. Nirlamba Yoga, Lord Shiva, in the final Upadesha given to Parvati, in Devi Kalotra or Kalagyan, says that you have to become supportless. You have to drop everything that you are holding on to. Because this final step that you are going to take, the chitta, know this, once the consciousness reaches the Agya Chakra, here, Trikuti, from here the chitta is talking to the Sahasrara Shiva, and Shiva says, now you have to give up everything. All your concepts and philosophies and theories and methods and techniques and knowledge and this and that, everything, because you can't go with all that. Only when you lose everything, you drop everything, you just float up. Because of the weight will not allow you to go. So he says, become Nirlam now. You have been into Salamb, now become Nirlam. And this is the point that I explained to him, that once you reach a certain state of evolution, the object dissolves. His Arunachala dissolved. His Guru Samadhi dissolved. His Guru dissolved. But the devotion remained. Because the moment I said, what do you do now? Okay, if those things are not happening, what do you do now? He said, I just asked him, what about Arunachala? What happens when you think of Arunachala? He immediately had tears in his eyes. I said, what happens when you think of Ramana? He had tears in his eyes. Became very emotional. I could see the connection. I said, wow, this is objectless devotion. The object has dropped, but the devotion has stayed. This, dear ones, is the purpose of all the objects. They come into your life to activate, to create that bhava, to create that devotion. So once that devotion comes up, then the object moves. This is the grace of the Lord. The object moves out, only the devotion stayed. Because only when the object dissolves, you can fall in love with the Nirguna. This person was installed into the Nirguna. Do you see that? He was just installed in that place. It's like the grace of Lord Shiva. He has made a person into Nirlamba so beautifully. He's made somebody Nirlambi, supportless. So now all his meditation, when he sits, he says, I am only able to sit, I am not able to do anything. Nothing is happening. All my sadhana is stopped. So those techniques also are the objects that connects you to that devotion. So now it is objectless meditation. When the object drops and still you meditate, that's the beauty. That's pure awareness. That's what this platform is trying to get us into. This platform is trying to make us realize that this is the Tatva. I am so happy today this thing came into my mind. I said this is the best way to explain shifting into awareness. When you shift into awareness, you are shifting from Salam to Nirlamba, from doing to being. So when you are actually moving from the doing, from the doer to the being, you don't become anything now, you just be. Become someone nahi. You don't become happy now. You be happy. Sahaj avastha, this is called. A very natural process. Sahaj rupi. So, if this happens, dear ones, in your life, consider the blessings of the Lord. Arunachala Siva. This is the blessing of Arunachala. And all those who have drawn in this kind of devotion will be sucked into that Tatva which brought that object for you. The Param Tatva brings the Guru Tatva to you. Once you are activated and you transcend that, you merge into the Guru Tatva, you have realized the Param Tatva in the Guru Tatva. It's a very beautiful equation. It's very liberating to even think of it. I don't know if you can relate to what I'm trying to say. I'm very happy to explain this, because then all your inhibitions about the Guru, the scripture, the object, the hill, everything, even Arunachala will fade one day. It has to fade. The hill has to fade. The Saguna Rupa has to fade. All the Saguna Rupa, include all your favorite deities, whomever you are connected to. That all has to fade, dissolve, including your Guru has to dissolve. So when I say the Guru dissolves, people misunderstand me, saying that, oh, this guy is becoming devotionless. No, you don't know my devotion and love for my Guru. But it's not bound by the physical Swarupa, Rupa, Nama Rupa, no. It is this precisely what I'm trying to say. So, we are eternally grateful to the Guru. Eternally, who came in the Saguna Rupa and did it. So that's another way of expressing whatever you can do for that Saguna Rupa. But then there is a journey beyond that. Dear ones, is what I'm trying to convey in all this. And we are doing the Avadhoota Gita now. Very much inspired, and I had this deep insight after I went to Ganeshpuri. From Ganeshpuri, I had this deep insight that Avadhoota Gita must be done. And of course, I am in Arunachala now shortly, and then from there, immediately, the first event that I'll be doing is living in your divine presence. This is the presence, what we are talking. Living in the divine presence. You activate this Tatva, this objectless Tatva element, and you move and you start living in that objectless state. It helps you in becoming non-dual, the Advaita. It's a very powerful process. We have done this before. 3 webinars I've done before. I'm doing it again. Because again and again when we activated our presence, so we will realize in that state very clearly that I'm not this body when you come into that zone. So we do that on September 10th, living in our divine presence. And then 11th to 17th we are doing Avadhoota Gita. Meditating on Avadhoota Gita. You'll know what is the Tatva of these mystics who have gone beyond the body consciousness, who have transcended the ego. And it's very rare to have the mystics, the Nirguna in the Saguna Rupa, that is Avadhutas. They have no mind. That's why you can say that we'll talk later. We will contemplate. I will share all my experiences with all the Avadhutas. I have multiple of them, and very beautiful experiences. I didn't share many of them because I didn't want to go into that miracle zone, because they are more than miracles. People get connected to their miracles and then they want to run to the Avadhuta for miracle. No, it's not that Tatva. So we will deeply contemplate on these Avadhutas, the Avadhoota Tatva given by Avadhoota Chintana Shri Gurudeva Datta, the father of all Avadhutas, Bhagavan Dattatreya. There also you'll know the Saguna Rupa, what you're connecting with, it's not that. It has got a very Nirguna Tattva in that. We will contemplate deeply on Avadhoota Gita from September 11th to September 16th, and September 17th, which is a Sunday, we are going to meditate on the Guru Tattva. After realizing all this, what I am talking here is a connection there. So that we meditate directly on the Guru Tattva via the object, via your Guru. Saguna Rupa, we enter into the Nirguna Swarupa of the Guru Tattva. It is going to be very powerful. I can feel it right now also. Yes, so that's the exact process of the Guru Tattva. How the Guru Tattva helps us. So with the same process, you can connect with your Guru in the Saguna's form, and you can connect with your Guru who has left the body also, who is not in the Saguna form, and you can connect to all the ascended masters, and the collective consciousness of all the masters put together without even a fraction of deviation or separatedness is called the Guru Tattva. So we will do that. Anyways, tomorrow, Sunday, we are doing the Reset Your Life program, which is just the beginning of this process. It will help us first clear off all the muck of our mind and settle down, bring into Nischalta, from the Chanchalta, settle down completely, clear off all our past hidden samsaras and all those things that are haunting our mind, and help us move from mind to no mind state, from mind to consciousness. It will help us move from the body consciousness to the soul consciousness. So these are the steps. It begins, this will help the newcomers who are very new here, shifting into awareness, understand what is this tattva of awareness, and will help you deepen your journey, especially if you're coming to the retreat in Tirunamalai. We have just one seat left in Tirunamalai. We are closing the registrations also. It's running full. So if there is more requirement for it, I may consider for November. Otherwise, it will be January 2024. So with lots of divine light, I think this cleared all your inhibitions about the Guru Tatva and objectless meditation. That's the aim, to move to the objectless meditation. We have been doing all the object meditation, object, guided meditation, putting in this and needed somebody, always needing somebody, a photo, image, an idol, a hill, a temple. All these things are there, and these make us handicapped, because this is good in the start, but after a certain while, it has to drop. You should not drop it. Okay, you should not drop it. That's not right. It has to drop by itself. How does it drop? The more you live in awareness, the more you get connected. You can attend these satsangs that we do here, free Zoom sessions and all that. It will help you connect to that Nirguna Tatva. So, more you develop your awareness, the more sahaja it will drop. You don't have to do anything. It has to happen. And we allow it to happen. So if you feel you're connected to what I'm saying here, if you feel you're ripe enough to understand the Chitta talking to the Shiva from this point, reaching till here, so I wouldn't advise this for everybody. Do whatever you are doing very happily. But if you have this pull to go transcend to the objectlessness, to the bodilessness, and to move more into the Nirguna, if you are done with all the Saguna fascinations, then you can join Shifting into Awareness programs. It will help you a lot, with lots of divine love and light too. All of you, stay blessed.